be the change you wanna see.
Seaside is a caring, connected, and expanding spiritual community, sharing practical tools for richer living.
Just your heart to show you how you can be the change if you wanna.
We join in partnership with God to influence our lives for good, whether for improved health, finances, relationships, or simple happiness and joy.
Plant a flower, watch it grow. You will reap what you sow. You gotta be
Sounding good. Hey, Danielle, did your children make it here today?
They are here.
Did they bring you like a flower?
They brought me 2 flowers.
2 flowers, 2 kids.
And my beautiful husband and my beautiful mama.
Hey, husband and mom, thanks for lending us your kiddo this morning. But I love Mother's Day. All the moms bring their family on this day, so it's great. Hey, good morning, Seaside. And happy Mother's Day to everyone who's mom around here anyway. What a joy that you've chosen to share it with us. It means a lot. It touches me deeply. I love Mother's Day. It's kind of why I've dressed up. What do you think? And I want to thank all the men from the men's group who also are presenting themselves with such excellence here today. It's to honor all the moms. I mean, without moms, we wouldn't be here. You just stop to think about that one. Anyway, I always like the saying that God couldn't be everywhere, so created moms. And that is really just the depth of great respect and love and admiration and appreciation for you moms that somehow got us into this world and you two survived. So very exciting to think about. Also, speaking of surviving, Susan, you were going to make a skit, and you didn't. You want to do it now? Okay. Come on up. Oh, there's 2 of you. Who gets the mic? Right there. Okay.
Hey there. Hey, what are you doing?
Well, I am coordinating the Gourmets for God this year.
I'm new at Seaside. What's Gourmets for God?
Well, let me tell you. Gourmets for God is an opportunity for Seaside members to come together as a community. It's also, we're calling it a fundraiser because it also keeps us doing the community outreach programs that Seaside does on the daily. And speaking of fun, it's a lot of fun.
It sounds fun. But how could somebody help?
Well, all you need is an idea. So, for example, Sonny and Mike are doing this 4th of July barbecue pool party. They have a perfect view of the Oceanside fireworks, so you can get in there, no traffic, and have a private party. Jim and Deb are having, well, Jim has these barbecue ribs, and he's got a recipe, I'm just saying. And David Palmer's got 2 events going. He's doing a men's poker party, which I don't know about that. I think women are. So, and also a wine and cheese tasting. Janice and Brian just signed up. They're going to do their famous wood-fried pizza in the oven. Corrine and Kevin, escape room game night. And then whatever Callie and Christian come up with, that one's going to be fun.
Wow, I've got some ideas. My place is too small, my house.
Well, we got you covered there. Because we can do co-hosting, where if you have a house, but somebody has an idea, or you have an idea and you don't have a house, we can sign you up and you guys can do something cooperatively, and then it's even more community. In fact, let's go talk about that now in our family room at the table.
Okay.
Hey, let's go.
That's great, you two. That was fabulous. That's Susan and Sherry. It sounds like there's going to be a party at Sherry's house coming up. So, fabulous. Gourmets for God is such fun. You develop relationships that will last you your lifetime. So open up your home, invite some friends in, or just sign up when that time comes. But right now we're just collecting those ideas for parties. So Candace, you're going to take us to a deeper place. There's a wonderful, masterful practitioner, Candace, who's known for her consciousness around here, and will take us all on that journey of heart and soul.
Please join me in a moment of stillness. The vibrations of the bowl reverberate in every cell in my body, filling me with love, filling me with peace, filling me with the knowing that Spirit is all there is, everywhere, always, in each and every one of us, in each and every situation. And as I know that, I am filled with gratitude. I'm filled with gratitude for this spiritual community, this safe, sacred space where people come together in our wholeness, in our brokenness, in our joys, in our sorrows, in the tapestry of life, sharing with each other, growing, being nurtured, offering nurturing. And I know that this day's service is one filled with love, love that inspires, love that heals, love that fills us with with energy, with joy, and in gratitude, and so it is.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know that we are. Be still and know that we are God. Be still and know.
Thank you, Danielle, for reminding us to be still and know. And Candace, your invocation gave me God bumps. Thank you. Beautiful. Good morning. I'm Reverend Christina Tillotson, and I just love it that I'm on the platform the second Sunday of every month, and I always get to be here on Mother's Day. Mother's Day is such an amazing, beautiful time here, and I just want to welcome all of you here, especially if you're here for the first time. Welcome to this place of light and love where we celebrate that love of the universe here in community with each other. And we are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. We don't have a mother church like the Christian Scientists. We don't have a Vatican like the Catholics, but we do have a worldwide organization called Centers for Spiritual Living that we choose to be a member of in Golden, Colorado, and their vision is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence for a world that works for everyone. So if you're aligned with that, you're aligned with people all over the world who are celebrating that in all of our communities. And if you want to get an example of our larger community, 3 weeks from today is graduation at 4 o'clock, where 11 ministers and all of the spiritual practitioner graduates from Southern California will be here graduating, including my online graduates from all over the world. With your support, they get to do that. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for that. And I just want to honor this amazing Mother's Day for all of you moms, for all of you cat moms like me, dog moms, hamster moms, anyone who's had a mom, all of our moms who are on the other side. It's just a day of celebration and light and love to celebrate moms. And today we have the honor of sending that love out to a mom from a Syrian refugee family. And would Christine Elliott please come up?
Good morning, Seaside. So I'm Christine Elliott, and I think it's this cute connection. We have Reverend Christina, and Christine. I'm here again with Amina Alfaran. She's a Syrian refugee and mom of 5 children. two of whom are here this morning, Shahad, who's 8, and Sham, who's 3. Amina and her family had to leave Syria in 2013. They walked for 5 days to get to a refugee camp in Jordan. And they lived there for 2 years, and they arrived here in September of 2016. In Syria, they were a happy middle-class family. And of course, here as refugees, their only regular income is food stamps and welfare. Reverend Christian has invited us here to Seaside because Amina makes the most delicious baklava, which she's brought here today in return for your donations. So come to our baklava table, please. How many of you were here when we visited last time? I think it was around December. Oh, good, lots of you. So you're familiar with the baklava. Just a quick update, since then, all 7 family members have their green cards. And thanks in large part to your generosity, we now have transportation for the family. We have a minivan. But there are still a lot of challenges. I'm sure all of you are hearing about Syria in the news. There is still family back in Syria and in the refugee camp in Jordan. So they're very, very worried about their families who are still there. Dad Feis did get a job at a car wash, but it's minimum wage, and whatever he makes, the welfare goes down. So it's a very, very difficult situation. The older kids are struggling in school. Partly it's a language problem, and partly their school is rated 3 out of 10. So it's we're looking at getting summer tutoring, so your donations today may help us with that. But back on the good news side, we do have our wonderful baklava here today, and Amina loves to practice her English. She's getting there little by little. In Arabic, we say shwaya shwaya, which means bit by bit. So she'll be happy to see you at the table, and it would be a great Mother's Day gift for her to stop by and get some baklava. And thank you so much for this opportunity. We really appreciate it.
Wow, talk about love. So let's take this love into prayer. Going to that place where I know there's only love. That power, that presence, that light, that love of love that Anne Examiner, the pre-Socratic philosopher said, that glue that holds the universe together. It is all light, it is all love, it is all that peace that passes all understanding. It doesn't matter what it's called, Allah, Adonai, the Tao, the Force, God, Holy Spirit, nature. It's that power and that presence, that light and that love of Spirit through and as all of its creation, continuing creating galaxies and atoms and plants and animals and people and light and sun and rain and flowers, drops of the ocean, throughout all of these all amazing universes, continually creating that light and love every single sacred infinite day. That light and love and peace is who I am and everyone here is, everyone coming in, watching the podcast are. Perfect expressions of that light and that love and that peace as spirit and human form right here and right now in this sacred space and throughout the world listening or watching. It is all love. And I'm knowing that light and that love as spirit just flows through each heart, allowing each heart to expand that consciousness and that revelation of that love that is the truth of each one. That is the truth of this whole world. And so this light and this love and that perfection as love flows out from this place into this community, into this state, into this country, into this world, surrounding this world in that light and that love of spirit, uplifting this world in that perfect love that celebrated this beautiful Mother's Day and going out into all universes, flowing that love. And so I'm so grateful. I just gratefully accept this light, this love, this peace as the truth of each one. Witnessing this sacred time together as I release this word to the law, knowing this now done in perfect light and love and peace. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you. It really is such an incredible joy to be here on Mother's Day with you all celebrating today. You know, the mother-child relationship is so incredibly powerful and beautiful. I invited my mom to sing with me today, but she declined. So instead, we have this awesome mother-daughter duo here this morning, you guys. This is Deja Marie Pope and her daughter, Sharifa. They got their start on The Gong Show and kind of progressed from there. That opened up a lot of opportunities for them. So they are local here to San Diego, kind of going back and forth to LA. Today they will be performing with Sue Palmer down at Gator by the Bay. So if you are looking for Mother's Day plans today, that is a really incredible music festival. So definitely encourage that. Go out into the living room, meet them after the service. Well, actually, they won't be here after the service, but be sure to check them out on Facebook or go check them out at Gator by the Bay. With that, please welcome Deja and Sharifa.
All right, thank you so very much. What a wonderful service. I feel so enlightened, I feel really good. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers here.
Up above my head, there's music in the air. Up above my head, there's music in the air. Oh, I really do believe there's a heaven somewhere up in my room.
Up in my room,
There's music in the air.
there's music in the air.
Up in my room.
Up in my room,
There's music in the air.
there's music in the air.
Oh, I really do believe there's a heaven somewhere. Come on. In my room,
In my room,
there's music in the air. Go ahead, stand up.
music in the air.
Up in my room,
In my room,
there's music in the air.
music in the air.
Oh, I really do believe there's heaven somewhere. Up above my head,
Above my head,
there's music in the air.
there's music in the air.
Up above my head,
Above my head,
there's music heaven's way.
Happy Mother's Day.
Hey, that is Sharifa. And that is Mom Disha Marie. Oh my goodness. There is music in the air. There is heaven all around. What a great mother-daughter kind of expression going on for us. And just, Sharifa, she's here, I tell her. Matt was saying with me that she was the most powerful singer we have ever had at Seaside, that he had to adjust the dials to the highest level ever. So we just had the most powerful expression going on here. How fun, how fun. All right, so Mother's Day. I love Mother's Day. It always gets me to just calm down and remember Mom. This morning I pulled out a picture of Mom and I sat down with my mom and just worked on connecting. And what I'm always reminded is that when your mom's not in this world, I mean, first, how blessed you are if your mom is in this world. And if she isn't, that we still can connect. That she is now closer than a phone call, if you would. And it's just about opening up your heart, because love is multidimensional. It transcends time and space. And I'm the one who needs to become available, because what I know is that maternal love is always available for me to feel. It's always there and being offered. And what's interesting is, and fun is, things just kind of pop out that are Mom, that remind me of Mom. And I came across her necklace this morning, but also a little book I'd given her as a kid. And so here's a couple stories from that, or at least the fun ones that made me think. And one of them was about a mom and a dad who was telling their 4-year-old Brian that they were going to have another baby, and that he was going to have another baby brother. And he was very clear. No, I don't want another baby brother. I don't want one. Nope. And now they were clear that he made it through the sibling rivalry when his brother Tyler showed up, a couple years ago. But this time there was no logic, reconciliation, anything that could convince him. And so finally Mom said, Brian, why? Why don't you want another baby brother? And he looked at her, big eyes, and said, Mom, because I don't want to have to give back my brother Tyler. It's like, wow. But little guy, and that love of a mom, they understand that. I mean, those kind of cute little moments are available. And those are the gifts of love that are available. And the maternal presence is just able to embrace that. Another story in that book was a mom, she was with her son, who may have been 5 or 6. And you know how kids just kind of ask these questions out of the blue. It's like, where did they come from? I mean, and so the little guy said, Mom, how old were you when I was born? And it's like, excuse me? I was 36. Why do you ask? And he said, oh, what a shame. And the little guy just shook his head. What a shame. And he said, why? Why is it a shame? Just think of all those years that we didn't have together. Yeah. And it's like those kind of experiences just open our heart and our soul. And what I come to recognize about the gift of love that's ever available is it shows up in those gentle moments, in those kind moments, in those happy moments. And there was a survey that was done in the newspaper. I guess it makes it a newspaper survey. And it talked about the happiest people. And the 4 top happiest people that came out in the survey, one was an artist or craftsperson who just whistles over the work that they do, and they just love what it is they're doing. Another is a child building a sandcastle at the beach. Another is a doctor who had a very difficult surgery and saved a life. And the 4th one is a mother who's bathing her little baby. These are the 4 happiest expressions that came out in the survey. But what was interesting that was pointed out was none of those had to do with wealth, money, position, possession, or power. They all had to do with the heart expression. They all had to do with that kind of love. And so what my mom used to tell me, and her gift of love that she tried passing on, it said, Christian, you learn so much more about the road than you do by looking and consulting all the maps of the world. You got to get out there on the road. You got to get out there and do life. You got to get out there and experience what it is to experience, because I can't really tell you what it is. It is only as you are willing to get out there and be involved. And I want you to recognize that your religion starts when the sermon is over. It's like, it doesn't matter what the preacher guy is saying. It's like how you are putting it out in that world is where that religion matters, is where it comes forth. That is the gift of love that comes forth from you. And remember, don't brag about this, because, it's not the whistle that moves the train. And it's like, Mom, I'll remember that one. But as we begin to take a look at our life, we begin to open up and recognize that those gifts of Spirit are available to us. And as we begin to open our heart and our soul and recognize that that gift and that love that's been passed on to us is significant, it is God, it is divine, and there's a wisdom that is inside of us. It is a divine inheritance or something that got passed on along to us along the way, an intelligence that is there. And I've shared with you, I think, about the birds. My front yard, and Callie's front yard also, our front yard has been filled with birds this spring, and they've been coming and going and building their nests. And we've been watching this one hummingbird, and she had her eggs hatch, and we watched the little babies fly away. And then she came back and had another batch of eggs. I mean, a little hussy, I guess, but I'm sorry, I take that back. Anyway, so above our garage door, there's these robins that have built their nests, and they're having their eggs. And I watched the robins bring in the sticks and build this nest, and the nest was built to perfection. It was exact. It was, I don't know, it was conscious. It was just the ideal thing. And as I watched this perfect unfold, I said, where did that come from? Where did that wisdom come from? Where did that know-how come from? And then I got to realize, if a bird can build a nest because there's an inner wisdom, then there's got to be something inside of me that there's something greater than me can come from, through me, as me, is me. Where did that come from? Well, the same place where this inner wisdom and guidance can come from, if I can remember the divine gift of my divine inheritance, is Spirit. My name Christian comes from being named after the King of Denmark. Christian is as common in Denmark as is Bob over here. Actually, Christian Sorensen is about as common as Bob Smith. Everybody's a son of Soren over there, or named after the king, since every other king became Christian. But I sometimes think, what if I really was the son of the king? How much of my identity am I missing? It's like, how much haven't I claimed of my right to the kingdom, to the goodies that are mine, if I really was? Well, you can figure where I'm going with this analogy. You kind of extrapolate it out. You magnify it and recognize that we are all children of the divine, of Spirit, of that life force. That originating first cause, that father, mother presence that breathed us into expression. That is our true identity. That is our true inheritance. And that intelligence that showed up in that robin can show up in me in building my nest and creating the wealth, the love, and the joy, and realize that these gifts will show up in the moment, but I'm the one who's got to open up to this. I've got to recognize my true identity, because what has happened is I have forgotten the truth of who I am, or sometimes we get so caught up in doing this thing called life, that we're doing this world, that we get confused and think who we are is our human identity, and have forgotten our divine identity. And Marianne Williamson writes about the Course in Miracles, saying that the authorship is the problem. We're forgetting who is the author, the creator of our very life. And it is no wonder that we've got confusion going on in our life when we think we're of this world and we forget our true inheritance. We've just fallen asleep to it. Kind of like Adam. You know the story of Adam, the one that comes from that black book? You got one of those? Okay, so in that story, in the Bible, like in the first part of it, most people have got through the first chapter anyway, it says that Adam fell asleep. All right, and he took his rib, and then the story unfolds from there. But as we know, nowhere did it say he woke up. He fell asleep, but never did it say he woke up, which means we're just walking around possibly in this dream state still, forgetting who we are, and occasionally having these nightmares of false identity, stuck in the scarcity, the constriction, the difficulty, the pain, or what the doctor said's going on in my body. Or the counselor told me is going on in my life, forgetting that there is a wisdom that's inside of me that is same as that sparrow, that I'll only come by walking this path or this road and having the experience that I'm not going to find on some written map somewhere. It's only as I begin to apply my true identity to the situations at hand do I find the gift of love of God that has been given, that I can wake up from the nightmare of the difficulty, the nightmare of scarcity, the nightmare of wars, the nightmare of the pain in the body. Those nightmares, you got to wake up. You know what they say about the enlightened ones? They're awake. So wake up to the truth of who you are if you want the divine gifts that are waiting for you. Ooh, that's right. Goethe, he is that like 18th century Christian mystic, scientist, author, writer. They kind of did it all back in those days. Anyway, he said, when you come to know yourself, or when you come to trust yourself, you'll know what to do with life. When you come to trust yourself, you'll know what to do with your life. You'll know that, Robin, I know, you know, when you learn to trust yourself, you will come to know the truth of who you are. You don't get confused with the situations that are going on in this life. A woman, Sandra, called and said, I don't seem to have follow-through. Well, this really isn't the truth. She is a very bright and energetic woman who's raised children, which, if you ask me, quite follow-through expression in my awareness. You're raising kids, you got follow-through. You don't need to even question that one. And the fact is, I think she's still feeding them, too. And so what begins to happen is we get caught up in thinking this is where I was heading and things have changed in our life, and I'm going to keep pushing through. I said I'm going to do this in my life, and sometimes our rigidity doesn't serve us. That goal or where I was heading at a certain point in my life may no longer be what's calling you forward, and if you are rigidly sticking to that, maybe creating more problems than freedom in your life. And it's okay to have a change of ideas. If you are willing to be flexible, it doesn't mean you're afraid to make commitments. You're not commitment phobia here. It's mean you have changed your idea. It could be called adaptability, which is a little sexier than being called erratic around the whole situation. You have at your disposal the opportunity to make a choice. And if you are staying committed to a faded goal, you're not being true to your gold. And your gold is your divine nature, the divine guidance, your inner wisdom, your intuitive self, but you can't remain stuck and rigidly applying something that is no longer yours to do. And now this idea isn't new. You'll find Emerson, the leader really of the transcendentalist movement in the mid-1900s. He said, foolish consistency to the hobgoblins. No, he didn't say it like that. Let's see if I... Do not be foolishly consistent to the hobgoblins of the little mind. Hey, don't be foolishly consistent to the hobgoblins of your little mind. And so if you're getting rid of that which isn't serving you, your inner self, your higher self isn't going to ask you to be out of integrity here. It's going to ask you to get rid of some of those hobgoblins. But if you want to experience the gifts of love, you've got to begin to create the space for it. You've got to begin to open up to the blessings of Spirit that are available to you. You've got to be willing to know that you have what it takes to move forward in your life and in your world. And when you do that, you're able to change a direction. What's that saying? It's 20 years from now, you're not going to be disappointed over the things you did, but over the things you didn't do. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed over the things you didn't do than what you did do. And so I saw a bumper sticker that said, if you're going in the wrong direction, God permits U-turns. Okay? So if you're going in the wrong direction, God permits U-turns. But you got to take the action, right? You've got to do that. You can't just sit there thinking when I get there, it's going to be okay. If you know it's not going to be okay, then you have been given permission, make the U-turn and go this direction. Because if you do nothing, then nothing new is going to happen. The only thing that has ever sat its way to success is a hen. you've got to be willing to do something that's different if you want to experience your divine inheritance, if you want to experience the gift of love, if you want to experience something new. There was a mom, she was raising a child with special needs. He was 7 years old, and a neighbor kind of would help her out because she also had a child with special needs. They both had 5 kids, and Maria was her name. And Maria was Catholic, and she one day said to her friend Kathy, you know what, I'm going to take my son Billy to the curative waters of Lourdes over in France. And I was like, wow, that's pretty big, since Maria had never been out of the country. Taking a 7-year-old that you really have no idea what they're going to do on a 10-hour plane ride is a risk. And then, to land in a country where you don't speak the language, to take a train somewhere that you have never been, that's kind of big. But it just shows you what a mom, when their heart and their soul is willing to do anything to assist her child to become what she was thinking would be more typical, more neurotypical, more normal, is what she was saying. And so she saved her money in the mayonnaise jars, and over a year finally collected enough. And one day she was just gone. Didn't even tell Kathy. And before Kathy could even begin to miss her, she was already back from the trip. And what Kathy saw in her friend Maria was a skip in her step, an excitement, a joy. She had a new vivaciousness to direct her household. And just amazing something happened. And then she would look at her son Billy, and it's like he was just the opposite. Nothing had changed in his life. Kathy was wondering what went on? And Maria wasn't sharing anything until one day when Kathy was over there. Kathy ran upstairs and came down with a little plastic bottle with water from Lourdes and said, "Here, this is for you." And Kathy thought, well, this might be the opening to say, Lourdes, did it work for Billy? And Maria looked away and said, "Oh, that was just a cruel question. I know it didn't work. Of course it didn't work." Maria looked back and said, "You know what? We got there. It was Billy's turn next, and I didn't dip him in the water." It was in that moment that I realized I loved my son for who he is, and that he didn't need to change. And of course, I have my dreams, and I'd love for him to live those dreams. And if someday, by chance, God healed and something shifted and something happened, I would thank God and I would love Billy, but I wouldn't love him any more than I love him right now. And with that came the peace, with that came the healing, with that came the transformation, with that came the willingness to change direction. With that came a willingness to open up to experience the gift of love that maternal expression of the divine is ever offering us, to open our hearts and to feel the grace and the good that is there. As I think about these stories, I think about moms. Man, moms, you guys are amazing. It is what you wouldn't do for your child, whether it's traveling to the other side of the world or defending, or it's just, the mother nature, I am clear, is stronger, has a greater strength than the laws of nature. What you are willing to do is nothing short than miraculous. I look at Callie and raising, our son Trevor, 18 years old now, and has taken some extra emotional strength on mom's part and our part because there are some special needs that are there, and the different things that have been tried over the years, and the patience and the understanding. And the newest one that we're into these days is called Brain Highways. And Nancy Green, I don't see her here, she's usually at the first service, has created this amazing program called Brain Highways. It taps into the pons part of your brain, which is on your brain stem, helping to create new neural pathways or new neural highways that were not established as the child was very young and predated. And as you begin to open up these neural pathways and begin to communicate with your child in a supportive, empowering way, as opposed to disempowering or enabling kind of way, the changes are amazing. But it takes you having your child to get down on the ground and do these floor exercises And, before crawling, which is on your hands and knees, there's something called creeping. Remember those first few months when your child was creeping on their belly across the ground? It wasn't crawling. And now, can you imagine getting a full-grown 18-year-old on their belly crawling across the ground? It has taken every bit of strength and know-how that mom has to encourage her son to do that. The reading that she is doing, the research, and the information that's coming from brain highways, she could have a PhD with the full-time every day for the last month she has put in. And it doesn't get him on the floor. It ends up having mom being on the floor, creeping herself. So she's teared her shoulder muscle. She's got bruises on the knees and arms. And it is true. Yeah, it's like the love that is there is truly amazing. But that is the kind of love that goes on from a mom to their child. She said, I would do anything if it would assist my child. And sure enough, after a month, Trevor's starting to be willing to do it. It's pretty crazy. I've even tried doing that, and it's not natural for me. Yeah, mom, no problem. No. But, I noticed that my body's not 20 anymore. And as I begin to feel my age, I realize, I'm not going to complain because I recognize that those that are not even given the opportunity to experience their age. And so I'm so grateful that I'm going through this. I can remember my mom. She was the matriarch of our family, and I love Mom. She would call a party, and the clan would show up. Mom's gone. No more parties, kind of sad. But I remember one, as the next generation started coming in, the little kids, one of the little girls looked at my mom and said, "Are you young or are you old?" My mom looked at her and said, "Sweetie, I have been young for a very long time." And my mom used to say, once you're over the hill, you pick up speed. She said, your dad and I are cruising. And so it's pretty amazing what is available, to us when we begin to play in the realm of consciousness and open our hearts to the gifts of God, and the reciprocal opportunity where life comes back upon itself in ways that you maybe never even thought about when they were first established going on. And there's a beautiful story of Mary Mercantile. And she shares that when she was a little girl, if she would fall and scrape her knee, her mom would, pick her up, and she would show her where her knee hurt, and she would kiss her owie. That's a real hard word for guys to say, I want you to know. But anyway, it would kiss where she got hurt, and then they'd sit on the bed and talk about it. And she said, it still hurts. And Mom would say, well, honey, squeeze my hand. When you squeeze my hand, say it hurts, I'll tell you I love you. And so she liked that. She'd squeeze, it hurts. I love you, Mary. Mary, I love you. And so she said sometimes she would fake getting hurt just so she could squeeze her mom's hand and have Mom say, I love you. And as she got older, he had to change the rituals a little bit. So by high school and having, the drama relationships, it was Hershey bars with almonds in it. That was a ritual. And when she got into her 20s, it was meeting in the park spontaneously for a lunch for us to just celebrate a warm summer or a warm sunny day in Wisconsin. And in 30s, when Mom and Dad would visit, always in the mailbox the next day or two would be a thank you note on how much they appreciate it. And she said when she was in her 30s, her mom, or she got a call from her dad and said, you've got to come on over, which was about 10 minutes away. She came on over that night and said, Dad was pacing, worried, and said, Mom's in the bedroom. Went into the bedroom. There's Mom lying in the bed with her hands on her stomach. She said, Mom, I'm here. She said, Mary, is that you? I said, yeah, Mom, it's me. What's wrong? And she said, Mary, I'm dying. Mary just lost words. What do I say? And she said, what would Mom say? And she said, Mom, if you need to die, I want you to know it's okay. I'll let you go, but I want you to know I love you. And Mom just cried out even more. It hurts so bad. Mary, it hurts. And Mary didn't know what to draw upon except for when she was a little child. And she took her mom's hands and said, Mom, when it hurts, just squeeze my hands, and I'll tell you I love you. And she squeezed her hands. And Mary said, I love you. I love you. She said there's a lot of hands squeezed and I love yous for the next year before her mom made her transition with ovarian cancer. But the love that is planted comes back. It serves you. And if we can continue to remain open to the gifts of love, we'll find it reciprocating back throughout our life, because the true experience is not caught up in the time dimension that we're in. That love transcends the time and space. So I want to end this morning with this letter. And this letter is from a mom to her child. And it says, "My dear, the day you see I'm getting old, I ask you to please be patient. But most of all, try to understand what I'm going through. If when we talk, I repeat the same thing 1,000 times, don't interrupt to say, 'You said that same thing a minute ago.' Just listen, please. Try to remember the times when you were little and I would read the same story night after night after night until you would fall asleep. And when I don't want to take a bath, don't be mad and don't embarrass me. Remember when I had to run after you, making excuses and trying to get you to take a shower when you were just a child. And when you see how ignorant I am, and when it comes to new technology, give me the time to learn and don't look at me that way. Remember, honey? I patiently taught you how to do many things, like eating appropriately, getting dressed, combing your hair, and dealing with life's issues every day. The day you see I'm getting old, I ask you to please be patient, but most of all, try to understand what I'm going through. And if I occasionally lose track of what we're talking about, give me the time to remember. And if I can't, don't be nervous, impatient, or arrogant. Just know in your heart that the most important thing for me is to be with you. And when my old, tired legs don't let me move as quickly as before, give me your hand the same way that I offered mine to you when you first walked. And when those days come, don't feel sad. Just be with me and understand me while I get to the end of my life with love. I'll cherish and thank you for the gift of time and joy we shared, with a big smile and a hug of love that I've always had for you. I just want to say, I love you, my darling, darling child. Happy Mother's Day, Mom." And I think that thing about moms is that they're able to see you. They were really the first to see you for who you were and are, and knew your potential and saw your infinite possibilities. And I think that's what's special about God, is that Spirit sees you, understands you, loves you, cares about you, is pulling for you, cheering you on, and just truly seeing you for who you are. And that's beautiful. God bless you, and happy Mother's Day. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring back this mother-daughter duo.
Take me to heart and always love you, and nobody can make me do wrong. Take me for granted, leaving love unshown. Things will power me and temptation strong. Oh yeah. A woman's only human.
Human.
This you should understand.
Oh, no, no, no.
She's not just a plaything. She's flesh and blood, just like a man. And if you wanna do right all day, woman, woman, you gotta be do right all night, man. Yeah, yeah. They say that this is a man's world.
Oh, no, no, no.
But you can't prove that by me.
Oh, no, no, no.
And as long as we've been together, baby, show some respect for me. And if you wanna do right all day, woman, woman, you gotta be do right all night, man. A woman's only human.
Human, yeah, yeah.
This you should understand.
Oh, no, 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 no.
She's not just a plaything. Oh, show some respect for her. And if you wanna do right all day, woman, woman, you gotta be do right all night, man. Oh, you gotta be do right all night, man. You gotta be do right. You gotta be do right all night, man. Thank you so much and happy Mother's Day, guys. We'll see you at the Gator. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
That is Disha Marie and Sharifa. Thank you. Have fun down at the Gator at the Bay. Thanks for getting us into your busy schedule. Keep that mother-daughter thing going. All right. Hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in our givingness and the sharing of our love and our offering. And as you give, it comes back, but it's not why you do it. But as the stories I shared today, you see how it comes back around and just touches our life. And when you give without those strings attached, you give from that sense of well-being in your heart and your overflow. What you'll find is Spirit touching down and supporting its life as your life in those areas that are relevant and real and important and significant for you. Because what you are is the expression of Spirit. And so I invite you to listen to your heart and say yes to its desire to express the work of Spirit in this moment. And I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward at this time and say thank you to this wonderful crew. And thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday. It is greatly appreciated, as well as those that remember us with the auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into Seaside. That regularity is extremely important and valuable for us to continue to operate here. And those of you at home, we feel your support. We receive your support. I thank you. Keep those prayer requests coming, the contributions, the love. It brings us joy to be able to share this message beyond the walls of this campus. So with that said, I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this truly is a blessed moment where the divine unfolds its expression as our very life. For the fullness and the richness of Spirit has its way in our field of awareness, and we begin to respond and act and to share and to be from that place of that infinite flow of abundance. And I know right now that each of us becomes that tap, that channel, that conduit through which that inexhaustible reservoir pours forth into expression as our very life. So with joy, we share that which moves through us, bringing greater good to this world. I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for the blessings, the richness, the ease, the grace, the joy, the peace, and the security that comes from knowing what the true source is. No one, no thing outside, but that infinite potential within. I share that and find it ever expanding. I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to be in that wonderful flow of life. And so it is. Amen. Together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Those are your guys from Seaside. Great job. And so as I stand before this bounty, I can feel the love and the outpouring and the blessings and the grace and the good of Spirit as it moves right here, right now through each and every one of us. And so this gift that has been made in love, it is received in love, it is handled in good stewardship, and it's put forth back into that wonderful flow of life, bringing the blessings and the good to all that comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to be able to share this love, and so it is. Amen. Hey, this is John. He is the newest member of your board of trustees, and just a joy. Also, head of our golf tournament coming out in October, so I know you'll be talking to us a lot more about that. That's for sure. All right, so let's see what's going on around here. Biggest thing, Marianne Williamson, I think we have sold out of VIP tickets. If not, we are really close. And so pick up your ticket. And also inside your program, as Kat shared with you, you have 2 flyers. We ask you to put them around town, whether it's in the coffee shop, whether it's in a window near you or where you go for food or whatever. Let's plaster the town. We still have half the tickets to sell, but we are on an amazing pace to sell out for sure. So please put that flyer out there. And also, thank yous. Oh my goodness, I was jumping right into things. Danielle, your singers have left for Gator by the Bay, but left you with us. We are just so grateful you chose to share your Mother's Day with us. The beauty you bring, the soul, the sound, and your family. What a gift. Thank you for being here. Dr. Christina, joy to share Sundays. And June 3rd, your kids are graduating from the online Prac 2 class from around the globe, including Dana, who's sitting there in the front row, very excited, one of our very own, right here, June 3rd, walking. Matthew, thank you for giving us sound. Appreciate that. Marb for the visuals, nice job. And to the wonderful Richard Crawford crew, I was giving a note, people watching it right now. Lori Gale, hey, we miss you. Adriana Piazza, we love you. Jennifer and Deanna Peterson and Martha. We've got people all over the country watching, and they're interacting and talking. So a lot's going on. And so take a look at your program. But I'll tell you, one of the things that's going on right now is that the Seaside Sisters partnered with the men's group, and the men's group is having breakfast this Saturday, if you want to join them, to bring you men in tuxes with chocolate. So, Callie, you want to share something about that? Hey, happy Mother's Day, hon.
Good morning. To the mothers in all women, to those who have lost their mothers, to those who desperately long to be a mother, to those who selflessly love like a mother, we honor you. To those who mother any and all living beings, to all those who watch over, nourish, and protect others, to adoptive, surrogates, nurturers, creators, to those who may not have birthed life, but have birthed a life of their own. Women, by their very nature, are maternal. We mother each other. We mother our children, our neighbors' kids, the dogs, our husbands, our friends, and about any other living thing that will allow us to do so. We stand up for, we give voice to, we march for the environment and for all of nature. It is this nurturing, this compassion, this love, and this caring that makes all women mothers. So today, we celebrate with a new outlook, which recognizes that all women are mothers. So the men's group joined with Seaside Sisters today, looking also handsome and dapper, because we wanted to make this a very special honoring for all the women today. So we bless each and every woman who sits in these chairs that has blessed our community and our world with their maternal spirit. And so we invite the women to enjoy a chocolate served to you by our beautiful men's group, and to know that we honor the divine feminine expressing as you. Thank you and happy Mother's Day.
And so, feeling that love, I invite you to move with me in this heart and soul and spirit, and know that the chocolate will be waiting for us at the door. And so the prayer will be swift, but to the point. For that love that has filled our hearts and souls, that love that we were created in, that love that welcomed us to this world, and that love that waits for us when we step out. It is the highest expression of God in our field of awareness, is a mother's love for her child. And I know right now that that love is what moves in this moment. And as we sit in this field here today of mothers that are present with us, and those that who once sat in these chairs and are no longer present in this world, yet their vibration and frequency fills our heart and allows us to feel that love that God is, that brings us a sense of everything is all right. And so I know right now that in this wonderful frequency of all is well, and being seen by the presence, what is being seen is that higher aspect of being, and in this high vibration of knowing, I know that every prayer request that has been brought to this community is answered, not only in the mind of God, but in its expression in the physical form. And that our world unfolds with the ease and the grace and the power of a child on task, a one who has awakened from the nightmare and lives that dream of infinite possibilities with the rich flow of God's good manifesting and supporting that dream. For each of us have come into this world with a gift to give, and everything that is necessary for us to live as one of those happy expressions, those creative artists, those crafts individuals, those children who play in the sand. I know right now that that joy of being is the natural state, and that each and every one of us finds that activity that substantiates that joy, and all that is necessary to live our dharma, to live our purpose is absolutely flowing and allowing us to walk this world with a sense of intention and purpose, with the ability to be flexible and change and be that conduit through which the richness pours forth. For we live in a realm of infinite possibilities that are forever seeking expression as our life, and all the wealth that needs to be there to support that is already lined up. We find the courage to open those doors to that greater good that allows us to fulfill that for which we have come, to live with intention, on purpose, with success and joy. And in this doing, there's healing that happens in our body, because that wonderful energy that moves will purge out anything unlike itself. The perfect physical body once again returns to its place of balance and joy and ease and grace, and it is just a vibrancy that is alive and dynamic. And the relationships become intimate and honest and just a beautiful expression of God made manifest in communing between two individuals, whether it is intimate or friendship or relational or family or work. I know right now that Spirit is in all things. It is omnipresent, which allows us to be connected through time and space, and all that is necessary to live a sense of fulfillment unfolds. I say thank you for this. Thank you for the words we've shared, that they're the truth, that they're manifesting here and now, that every prayer request chest is answered, that Seaside continues to be a place of love and caring and kindness, and that feminine energy continues to embrace and surround this community and every member with that nurturing sense that I see you and who you are is beautiful. And for this realization, I say thank you. And it's in this state of gratitude I let go. For it's not mine to do, but to allow that Spirit to have its way. So with an unshakable conviction and a deep sense of belief and faith, the words are so, I let go and allow Spirit to have its way. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. This is what you've got to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Let's hear you, Seaside. No more struggle, no more strife.
am love expressing. Together. I am love expressing. Touch your heart and say it again. I am love expressing. Feel it one more time deeply and say, I am love expressing. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love, I'm living in peace, I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears. In this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. 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 Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Have a wonderful week.